Hi. So, am I live on, I don't know. Am I live in two places? I have no idea what's happening. So, I know I'm late here. I was trying to do it on my computer because my phone's busy doing something else, but I couldn't get it to work on my computer. So, I'm not entirely sure what is happening right now. My phone might crash, and I don't know how to work Facebook Live on my computer, apparently. Also, yesterday, out of nowhere, in the middle of the afternoon, I just got sick. Like, say, 2:51, I was fine. 2:52, I was sick. I have no idea what happened. So, I woke up with a stiff neck, and I thought, oh, I just slept weird. And then, throughout the day, this just happened. And I slept with like rolled up Kleenexes up my nose all night last night because I was just like a snotty, gross mess. So I apologize for being disgusting today. We'll see how long this goes and how long you can tolerate my throat, my voice. I know I said that maybe you could join me on the camera. You could join me on the live. Maybe you will just do it. Maybe Jen, Susan, maybe you will just do the live. Susan's from my hometown. Jen's from Lethbridge. Maybe you could just, meet each other and just chit chat. Well, go ahead. No, just kidding. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about today. I wanted to thank everyone who sent me songs. I had mentioned the other day that I kind of live in a music bubble. So I worked at the River for 2.5 years. And before that, in Rosetown, I worked at an oldie station. So a lot of my career has actually been in like the classic hits field, which I love because that's what I grew up listening to. Mom and Dad, my sister and I, we listened to oldies lots. I can remember camping and having my own like Walkman on, and as kids do, probably maybe adults too, you just get lost in what you're doing and not realizing you have headphones in, and you start singing to the music so everyone around you can hear you singing, but you don't have the music playing. And as a child, not knowing what the song is about, I was singing that oldie song, My Ding-a-ling. So it's like, I want you to play with my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. So I'm singing that as like a kid in the campground. And I remember I think it was my mom came over and said, "Hun, like, you need to just that's not one we sing loud." So it means when we did grow up singing and listening to, excuse me, a lot of oldies. We did a little bit of country, like a lot of Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Clint Black, Garth Brooks, obviously. So yeah, stuff like that era of music. And so yeah, the first station I worked at was in Rosetown and Kindersley, and so it was an oldie station. So then to come to the River and work at like new music, I loved it. I thought it was great. I was, kind of just in my, 20s, and I was going to the bars, and that was what I in my 20s wanted to listen to. And then going over to CJOC, back to a classic hit station, I lost touch with the new music scene. So things like, what's a Diplo? Who is Doja Cat? I had to look how to say that. FKA Twigs? Like, do you say FKA, or is it like fucka? Like things like this. Like, I don't know how. Thank goodness I never did go, onto another station that was new music, because I would have had to do so much homework and research because I don't know how to say any of them. So, Lady Gaga, like I said, Taylor Swift, stuff like that. I know the big ones, the big names in the new music industry, stuff like that. And I know the Grammys were just the other night, and I didn't watch them, but I'm online enough that I see what's happening. And Taylor Swift, obviously, it was a big night for her and stuff. But yeah, so everybody who did send music, and I actually really liked that not a lot of it was new music. I got a lot of people who said stuff, AC/DC, Procol Harum, a lot of stuff that was, you know, what I worked with and what I grew up listening to. So I actually still really liked that we have that connection. And I think what I'm going to do, and I mentioned this in an email to Ron, who had sent me a bunch of YouTube links. I think what I'm going to do, and maybe I mentioned it to Jen too, I'm going to compile like a list of all the songs everybody sent me, and I want to make, probably on YouTube, I guess would be the best place to do it, because I don't have Spotify. Maybe somebody can transfer it to Spotify. I want to make like our music list. I want to make our playlist. If I can figure out how to do that. I think I probably can. So I do have a YouTube account, and I'm just going to probably maybe today or tomorrow, while I'm kind of feeling a little bit under the weather, just kind of pick away at doing that and put some of our songs on that and create like an us music playlist. Good, thanks, Jen. So yeah, if I make it on YouTube, then you can just, yeah, make it on Spotify. Thanks. Like, I don't know how, like, I have Sirius XM, and like, I felt like because I have that, I don't need Spotify. I don't know. I just feel like I have music everywhere else. I didn't need Spotify. I did have Apple Music for a little while. Royal Bank was really good about giving like free trials of like 3-month trials of everything. And for some reason there was like this loophole where I could just keep getting free trials throughout the year. And now, if you are actually like a PC Optimum or Shoppers, check like your PC app or your Shoppers app, because their RBC doesn't have it anymore, but Shoppers and PC are doing the free trials of like Apple Music and Apple Fitness and Apple TV. So they've taken it over this year. So as long as you have like an Apple account, I think, check it out. Anyway, so I do have, I don't know, we may, oh, Apple News. That's the one that we have right now. We have a free trial of Apple News. That's the one I love the most. So of course it's one of the most expensive. But I do like reading Apple News, and it kills me every time I click on an article and it's like, no, you can't read this because you don't have a subscription. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go Google the story then. So yeah, anyway, I do want to make us a little playlist. What else do we want to chat about today? Abe just joined us. Abe is one of the best cooks. I don't know, you're a cook, you're a chef, you're a baker, you're a jack of all trades. Abe is down in McGrath, and Abe has been like a connection through the station for a long, long time. Abe, when I was pregnant, did the best thing. I was driving around collecting puff wheat cakes, because I love puff wheat squares, puff wheat cake, whatever. Puff wheat squares from all the gas station locations when I was pregnant, because that's what I was craving. It was like those soft, generic puff wheat cakes. And so Abe knew that, and Abe made a puff wheat loaf with homemade maple bacon in it. I ate the whole thing by myself that day in the control room. Like, we're talking like a bread pan loaf of maple bacon puff wheat squares, and it was divine. And I've actually personally never tried making puff wheat squares. It's one of those things that I like it as a little treat that somebody else makes for me, because if I knew I could make it, guys, I can't even make Jell-O. I've never been able to confidently, successfully make Jell-O. So I'm a cook, not a baker. Not that Jell-O's baking. So anyway, I can't do desserts. So if I found out that I could make puff wheat squares, my life would be over. So it's a little treat that I like knowing, you know, I can get at the gas station, or, you know, when Abe brings me one when I'm pregnant. It's like that. But Abe is like Abe is my favorite person to talk about and just like dream about the food that Abe makes and has brought to the station before, because it's always so good. Anyway, does anybody want to join me and talk? My best friend from back home, Kim, just joined. Kim and I used to drive around in her little... You didn't have a Sprint. What was your car, Kim? It was a little... What was your car? It wasn't a Sprint. What was your car? We used to drive around in her little car. First of all, we used to drive around in her mom's van. And then I think her parents realized that we probably they should just get her a car. And so she got a car. Kim lived out of town, and it was like, well, it was a Sprint. Okay. So my favorite part about Kim is that she lived out of town. And she lived on a farm, and to me, that was like animals. And so it was like, I want to go to Kim's house to go play with the animals. And it was like, I want to ride the bus. And to Kim, it was probably just like she rides the bus every day. Why would her dad drove the bus? Why would I want to come ride the bus? But like, as a town kid, that's like a thing that you didn't get to do every day. So that was like a fun little adventure for me. So going to Kim's house, she lived on the other side of the lake, and it was like, you'd go on the bus after school, you'd get to go to Kim's farm, and you'd get to, like, I would go in the morning and wake up, and I'd go to the chicken coop, and I would gather all the eggs, and then Kim's mom would be like, well, where'd all the eggs go? I'd be like, well, Erin gathered them all already. And I'd want to go look at the geese and look at the pigs, and I just wanted to go look at all the animals, and it was probably stuff that Kim just, like, didn't want to do, but, like, a good sport about it, because I don't know how many times I slept over at Kim's farm growing up, and just bless her parents, because I was there a lot. In grade 7, I was at a sleepover at Kim's house, and it was cold. It was probably winter, and there was a barn cat that had kittens, and we brought kittens into the house, and Kim's bedroom was in the basement, and I'm gonna start laughing, and then I'm gonna start coughing, and I'm not gonna be able to tell this story. I'm one of the weirdest people you will ever meet. And by weirdest, there's like a little side swipe tinge of gross. So brought these kittens in the house, and Kim's sitting on her bed holding a kitten. I'm sitting on the floor holding a kitten. And the kitten crawls down my shirt to get warm, or be a kitten, I don't know. And it crawled up my sleeve, and it got here, and it got stuck here. And we started laughing. And in grade 7, being, 12 years old, I talked the other day about, in grade 7, I was old enough to have a job and teach people gymnastics. So keep this in mind. I was old enough to have my first job and a bank account. Laughing so hard at this kitten stuck here in my sleeve, we couldn't do anything. Laughing that I peed my pants on Kim's bedroom floor. Not a thing that you do at 12 years old. I've never peed my pants on anybody's floor before, except for Kim's. And that's what kind of best friends we are. I don't think Kim's ever peed on my floor, but I've peed on Kim's bedroom floor. I think her brother ended up moving into that bedroom, and I don't know, to be completely honest, that we ever cleaned that up. And I don't remember anything else, like how that cat got out. I don't remember. There's still time to go clean that floor. I probably do owe your parents like a lot of money for clean up some carpet. Oh my gosh. Jessie says her kid laughed so hard she threw up on her friend's coffee table. I've never laughed so hard I've thrown up. I mean, I've laughed so hard I've cried, but yeah, laughed so hard I've peed for sure. I mean, I do have other peeing stories, but we'll put a pin in those for now. I told my son the other day, he was playing Lego, and I said, we're just going to put a pin in this for now. And my twins are 4. And to try and explain some of these sayings to my kids when I say them, I mean, obviously they go way over their heads, but yeah, put a pin in that was one that I said to him, and he was just like, what does that mean? I can't remember. There was another one I said the other day. I was trying to explain to him, but kids are so weird. I told him this morning, I was filling out the paperwork to sign them up for preschool in the fall, and my son has like my level of anxiety, and while I don't maybe show it, I have crippling anxiety. And it's to the point where, I mean, obviously, I've talked about it. I'm in therapy. I have a psychiatrist. I have a work coach. So I have a family. I mean, I have like a big team that keeps me able to do this. So I have crippling anxiety, and it has unfortunately, like, you know, worn onto my children, especially my son. And so I said, I'm, you know, signing you up for preschool in the fall. And so it instantly stuck with him. And now that's his focus. It's so getting into the van this morning to go to daycare. He's, well, why aren't we going to preschool? Well, okay, sorry, because, you know, preschool doesn't start until the fall. And then he's like, well, when is fall? I'm like, okay, well, fall, we're going to go through Canada Day first, because they, for some reason, they love Canada Day. So explaining, we're going to go through Canada Day first, because if I say, well, we have to wait till winter's over and the snow is gone, I mean, that could mean 15 more times here in southern Alberta. We could get snow, no snow, snow, no snow. So we have to go through Canada Day. And then I said, we have to go through Whoop Up Days, because they loved Whoop Up Days. Big mistake, because now my son also does not let us forget that there was some kind of ride at Whoop Up Days. He swears it was a Spider-Man ride, but I don't remember that. There was a ride at Whoop Up Days last year that we apparently didn't let him go on. We didn't let him go on like any rides because he was only 3 and he was so short. He couldn't go on most of the rides. I think he only went on maybe 2. So there was a specific ride that we didn't let him go on. So now he's back on that, well, when is Whoop Up Days coming, and what rides are they going to be bringing him this year? So in a matter of probably 9 minutes driving to school this morning, we have stressed about when is preschool coming, when is Whoop Up Days coming. I'm going to have a talk with Exhibition Park about that. And I'm going to have to send a lengthy letter to West Coast Amusements, because I need to know what rides they're going to be bringing this year, or my son's not going to get off my back about all of this. And even if I did have those answers, he'd still talk himself in circles, because that's what I do. I worry, and they say, you know, what is it, like, worrying is like a rocking chair. You could do it, but it doesn't get you anywhere. But that's what I do. It's like the circle. So you sit there and you worry in circles. So that's what I do. And unfortunately, yes, it has, you know, I don't know. Did I put that on my kids, or is that life now? I need a drink. My voice has held up a little bit better than I was expecting it to. I need a drink of water too, sorry. I'm trying to drink very slowly and carefully, because normally I drink like a dehydrated camel and it just would spill everywhere. Anybody who's ever seen me drink water in real life probably just called me a liar for drinking that tidy. Thank you, Kim. It's a 4-year-old thing. Okay, good. Because my daughter is not like that. My daughter, in one ear and out the other. My son, in one ear and stuck forever. He has a memory like a trap. Doesn't let us forget anything. Okay. A little bit later this week, I'm going to catch up with Travis Plaited Hair. We're going to talk about the International Peace Powwow. It's going to be coming up, Peace Powwow and Festival. That's going to be coming to the NMAC Center February 24th, 25th. Starts actually the 23rd, so it's on the Friday. They're changing it a little bit this year. Normally they would do the Miss Blackfoot pageant. I think they're shaking it up a little bit this year. They're going to do like a Mr. and Ms. So there's going to be guys and girls on the Friday. So I think that's actually really, really cool. I'm going to go down there for that. I'm going to be for the entire weekend. Who do you think Travis Marsh is? Somebody just called me and immediately hung up. I have no idea who. Oh, I know who it is. They're trying to buy my van. The dealership is trying to. Speaking of my van tried to, what's that movie called? My van tried to Final Destination me today after I dropped the kids off. Like, I mean, it's like there's slippery spots, but my brakes locked up in the middle of a street and not even coming up to the intersection, just locked up for no reason, and then just sent me straight through an intersection. Had to decide whether, thank goodness there was no cars coming, had to decide whether to keep going straight and, well, drive straight into the park, or, I mean, turn my wheels a little bit and maybe go the direction I'm hoping to go, which actually was, that's what I did. But if my husband was in the car, he probably would have told me that was the wrong thing to do, because I actually almost hit a truck. I probably should have just kept going straight and went onto the sidewalk and into the snow that was at the park. I'm probably not driven straight for the truck. That was somebody else's. Regardless, maybe I should trade my van in. I like my van. In hindsight, I wish that we did the buying process differently. There's never a 100% satisfaction. You're never happy totally buying a vehicle in hindsight. Maybe in the moment, but you drive away and you're just like, son of a bitch. I wish this. Like for us, the van we bought, we were driving around and then we realized it doesn't have automatic headlights. We weren't told that. So, I mean, that was kind of a bummer. I mean, like it was brand new. It was we bought it in, what year did we buy it? We bought it in summer of 2020. It was a brand new 2019. And so, I mean, you'd think, what vehicles this day and age don't have automatic headlights? Anyway, but yeah, it was a weird, we didn't have automatic headlights. There was a couple other things that we thought were a little weird that I guess we assumed that it had, and maybe that's our bad for not asking, but whatever. We will buy another one. Actually, I do like the space, now that I figured out how the stow and go works. I usually just throw the dog in the back, throw the kids in there, a wagon, and a beach blanket. Or like one of those, the patchwork blue jean blankets that you see at every craft fair. My mom bought me one, my sister and I one, like a gajillion years ago, and it is the best thing to have in your vehicle. I've used it on wet grass. I've used it at the beach. I'm pretty sure I've used it to dry the kids off. But it's just so handy to just throw in the back of the vehicle and to just throw it in the wash, but it is heavier than heck to try and dry. Yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping this up soon. I am running out of voice. I'm running out of breath too. I'm with my cold or whatever this is. It's not in my head. It's just, I think it's just a sinus cold, but it's in my neck too. Like I can't, that's as far as I can't really shoulder check. I shouldn't be admitting these things. But this is real life, guys. You know it, right? This is what happens. But yeah, it hurts to shoulder check. So I thought maybe I slept wrong, but maybe it's to do with my cold or whatever. You have lymph nodes back there somewhere. And maybe those are, I don't know how to tell if they're swollen. I think my brain's just falling out. My brain's sliding down. The little brains that I do have. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to drink lots of tea. Because there's no friggin' way I'm drinking Neocitrin. I'll tell you that, because they've never changed the taste of it. It's just disgusting. Like, if I would drink Buckley's before I would drink Neocitrin. I mean, when they put Buckley's into a pill form, granted, that was probably, I don't know why they didn't do that decades earlier, but Neocitrin is pee in a cup. It's hot pee. It's disgusting. It is, oh my God, it is like, I'm hanging out with my friends day and night from the Quill family. Like, Dayquil and NyQuil are my best friends. Like, my mom just says, treat the symptoms. So, just a box of Kleenex following me around everywhere. Tea and water and Dayquil and NyQuil. And so I'm going to try and flush all this out of my system. I'm going to talk to Travis later this week about the powwow coming up. And my sister said go take a COVID test. I don't even know if we have any. I've never had COVID. I don't know how, knock on wood, nobody in our family has had COVID, the four of us. We're just, I don't know, believe in COVID or not, whatever. I mean, as soon as I say COVID, I'm going to end up on the wrong side of the algorithm for that. But, I mean, yeah, I just feel like, like, it just, my neck, I can't stop rubbing it. I can't stop, it's like a cavity. Like, you can't stop touching it to see if it still hurts. I booked a massage, and I can't get in until Valentine's Day, which I think is only next week maybe, but a Valentine's massage at 9 a.m. by myself. I'm pretty sure they only want to book couples massages that day, but I'm coming in by myself. Cody's not coming with me. Yeah, I'm gonna go snuggle under a blanket and find out what the delivery man, the Amazon guy, dropped at my door, because he showed up right before I started this too. And I'm gonna go figure out if my file transferred, because my phone is being wonky. And figure out who Travis Marsh is too. Travis Marsh, why are you phoning me and hanging up? Anyone knows him? Tell him I don't want to sell my Jeep. I don't have a Jeep. Why did I say Jeep? It's because Jesse said Jeep. It's right there on my screen. I want to sell my van. My van that's trying to Final Destination me. All right. Have a good day. And I will do this again maybe by the end of the week. Maybe if I'm feeling a little better. Even if I'm not. We'll hang out. I like doing this. Like I said, it's like my friends. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a good Tuesday. See you later.